Okay, I'm going to show you two things today. One thing I'm going to show you is snipping, and the other thing I'm going to show you is creating a custom background in Smart Notebook. So let's get started with snipping. What snipping is taking any image, anything that your computer screen shows, no matter what it is, you can copy that image or text or whatever it is, and you can basically save it as an image file. So you could use it in Word or Excel or put it on your website. You could save it in your pictures, or in what we're going to be doing today is using it in Smart Notebook. So where do I find my snipping tool? Well, I find my snipping tool down in the Start menu. Click on Start, and then I have my snipping tool pinned to my taskbar. If you hit Start and you don't see that, you can just down here, you can type in snipping, if I can spell it right, snipping, and then it will pop right up. So you can just click on it, and then by default it's going to open up and it's going to be prompting you to do your snipping right away. Kind of whites the screen a little bit, and that's kind of your cue to know that it's time to snip. So I have these nice little crosshairs here, and I can just draw a rectangle around whatever I want to snip. In this case, I'm snipping this little vocabulary part right out of my teacher's manual, which is great because that means I don't have to type all that. I just snip it like that, and by default, it copies it to my clipboard. So now I can go over here to my Smart Notebook, and I can edit, click on Paste, or to save some time, I can click on Control V. Now, you'll notice that's pretty small. The kids probably won't be able to see that, and if I make it bigger, with text it's okay, with pictures it gets really bad. It gets a little fuzzy and a little grainy, and I don't like that. So let me show you how to fix that. I'm going to delete that. I'm going to go back over here to my teacher's manual. And if you guys don't have your teacher manual PDFs, they should have came with a disc. I think it's Teacher Presentation Toolkit, and then you'll be able to find them right in there. If you need help with that, come and see me and I can help you out. So when I'm going to snip something, especially smaller text, I always want to zoom in. So I'm going to zoom in here pretty far, farther than what you might think. The further you can zoom in, the better. It's just going to make it that much more crisp. So then I go back to my snipping tool, and I just click on New. And again, it's going to white my background a little bit, and then I can draw around whatever I want to snip. It copies it by default. If I wanted to save this, say I was going to use it later on my website, I can click on the disk, and it would save it, and I could pick the folder, the location of where I want to save it. But when I'm making a Smart lesson, I'm just going to be copying and pasting everything into my Smart lesson as I go. So there it is, a little bit bigger, a little bit cleaner, and I want to lock mine in place. I'm kind of a freak about locking things down because I hate it when I go to write or touch something and it goes flying around the screen. The kids get crazy about it, and it just kind of takes away from instruction. So I lock it in place. I can click on lock in place, or I can use my shortcut, select it, Control K. It's going to save you a ton of time. So that's snipping. I use it a lot for vocabulary, things like that, to save me a ton of typing. But I'm going to show you a lesson that I've created so you can see what some of the snips look like, and also to show you how to create a custom background in Smart Notebook. So I have a lesson that I've created using a custom background and the snipping tool together. I'm just going to go through a few pages of this so you guys can kind of see what I'm talking about with creating a custom background. All of my reading lessons look like this. The color is tied to whatever the color is in the book, and there's some things that are static and they stay throughout every page. So you'll see that I've snipped a few things from my teacher's manual, this oral language part here, this little nice header, and then I've taken the background color and I've locked this little image header across the top. And as I click through the pages, you'll see that stays the same throughout every page, and I just throw my snips on top of that. Again, this saves me a ton of typing because I don't have to write all that. It also saves me the hassle of having to go and find the PDF where these transparencies are located and saving them, and then finding that file and opening them during the lesson. They're right in here, they're locked right to the lesson. I don't have to dig through anything else. Year after year, this just stays the same. It's really nice for substitute teachers because this follows along pretty closely with what's in the teacher's manual. So I'll just go through a few of these pages here, and again, it's nice. It just kind of shows you exactly what you're going to see in the teacher's manual. Kids can follow along on the smartboard or they can follow along in their books. Okay, so how do I make my own custom background? The first thing I want to do, and I'm going to close this and just start fresh. I'm going to close that. I don't want to save it. I'm going to open up a brand new Smart Notebook here. And there are kind of two ways to do it. One way is I could start creating something right here, right now. Or maybe I was teaching a lesson that I had already created and I thought, hey, that background I made, that would be nice to keep and save as a theme that I could pull in later. Maybe it's like, maybe you're plotting something on a graph in math and you built a nice graph paper and the XY chart thing on there and you want to save that. Well, you can do that. I click on Format and I click on Theme. If I already made one, I'm going to click on Create New Theme from Page. If I am starting to make one, I'm going to click on Create New Theme, and that's what we're doing right now. I'm going to click on Create New Theme. So I'm going to name this one, and since I'm on day 2, I'm going to name this Day 2 Background. And I'm going to do mine as an example because I already made one. Example. So then what I do for my color, obviously I don't want it white. I want to take this color from my day 2 lesson. So I can go, instead of picking one of these colors, I want to find the exact color. I'm going to pick this little eyedropper, and then I can go over here to what I want. And you'll notice that eyedropper kind of turns orange. So if I click that, it automatically fills in that background, that color. Okay? Now, do I want to snip that day 2? Yes, I do. So I'm going to open up my snipper, and I'm going to grab this day 2 down here from my teacher's manual. It's going to copy it, and then I'm going to paste it right into my lesson here. Okay, maybe I'm going to put it up here. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger for you guys. And I actually prefer, when I'm making a background, I prefer not to make it like I am right now. I actually prefer to make it in the Smart Lesson and then create a theme from what I've created. So there's my day 2 lesson. I'm actually just going to lock that down quick. And the next thing I can do, and I could add as much stuff as I wanted in here. I'm going to keep it simple, and I'm just going to add that little day 2 thing up there just for training purposes here. The next thing I can do is I can set my font. So you'll notice up here when I click on Theme Text Style, I am kind of brought into my font chooser. So I can click whatever I want, and then let's say we're going to do this. And I want to make it a little bit bigger because I know that I'm going to be doing some typing here. And let's just for fun do a nice dark green color. Awesome. Okay, I'm done. I have it named Day 2 Background Example. I'm going to click on Save. And that's it. Now it goes away. Well, where did it go? And this is a pretty important part because if you made it and you can't find it, that's no good. So where it went is it went into your content. So now when I go to make my lesson, I can click on My Content, and then down here, Backgrounds and Themes, you will see I have a few in here already. I have my Day 2 background that I just made. If I drag that in there, it's going to ask me, do I want to insert this theme on all the pages, on the pages in my group, or only on the current page? Well, if I'm building a lesson, I want it on all the pages. So I click on All Pages. And now whenever I create a new page, you're going to see that it keeps coming up as that exact same background. And that is how you make a custom background in Smart Notebook.